the WCC tournament in his first year. Then they were in the WBI last season and now in the WNIT. Opening tip, won by the Pilots. Portland wearing their purple uniforms, Portland in white across the chest, Colorado State in white, Colorado State in green across the chest.
Colorado State comes out man-to-man, and Coach Meek fully expected them to play what he called a rover and have someone help to the post when they had those opportunities.
First shot missed by Moheim, but a long offensive rebound by Shearer. Rose Flug, the point guard for Portland, took over after Haley Andrews went down with a knee injury in their victory over BYU earlier this season. 3 on the shot clock. Flug is in, she lost it, turnover.
This is where the Rams are dangerous, when Hofschild can get in the gaps, find shooters on the perimeter.
Hofschild 5th in the nation in assists this season.
Pilots in their zone defensively to start.
Farkas puts up a 3. This is a very good shooting team from outside in Colorado State.
Definitely, and you have at least 4 players right now that most of the time that have that green light from 3.
Flug is trying to come in on the backside. Another turnover for Portland. Hofschild picks up her dribble, finds Murphy near the paint, flips it up, no good.
This is where the Pilots can really hurt the Rams in that early offense transition, looking inside here to Fowler.
Back to Flug, puts up the 3, nails it. First points of the game go to Portland.
Great vision by Fowler. She knows they're probably going to double at some point. Just got to find the open person.
Hofschild, great pass up to Meck. And gets it to Murphy. And that's part of what Colorado State is going to do. They're going to get you moving quickly down the court. They do a lot of their damage in transition.
They do, and I think they're going to attack that press. They don't want to wait for the trap. They want to get the ball and get up the floor. You can see the sagging defense by Colorado State.
They're going to have to extend out if Flug is going to hit these 3s. She's now got 6 points. She averages 7.1 on the season.
Hofschild again in transition. She's sort of a one-person press breaker.
Kinzer to Murphy across the paint. They kick it back out. Hofschild lost it momentarily. Back into Murphy in the paint. Off balance shot, no good. And this is the part of the game the Rams don't really want to see, is Alex Fowler bringing the ball up. And my goodness, Rose Flug. 3 straight triples with a senior from Portland, Oregon. Emmy Shearer with the steal on the inbound. Moheim puts up a tough shot, and it'll be Colorado State basketball.
Credit to the Pilots and to Rose Flug, ready to play. You know, prepared, understanding what the game plan is, ready to step up and knock down shots.
See Rose hitting that 3rd 3 now. She has all the points for Portland. Hofschild through that press and gives it up to Petra Farkas.
She's so quick, great vision, head is up. Just such a willing passer.
Hofschild's averaging 6.5 assists per game. Again, that's 5th in the nation. And she's already set the single season mark in Colorado State history. Fowler spins inside, met with a couple of defenders. That shot was partially blocked.
You could see as soon as that ball went into the post of Fowler that Meck went to double immediately. Pilots back in the zone.
Looks to be a 1-3-1 zone for Portland. Baseline jumper from Murphy rattles out.
This is where the Pilots want to attack in transition. Look inside to Fowler, look high-low, and she wants to score quickly before that double can come or kick it out.
Pilots move the ball around. Fowler with it now. Skip pass. Farkas got a hand on it.
One thing we talked about, Brian, was the depth. I think the Pilots are going to play several more players than Colorado State will. They've got, you know, 5 or 6 players averaging 26 or more minutes. A couple up there. Hofschild plays 38 minutes a game. You wonder if that press will eventually wear them down a little bit as we get to the second half.
Absolutely. Callie Clark checking in for Colorado State. For Portland, a lot of fresh legs out there. Meek, Burnham, Kaitu'u, and Frawley on the court. And this different setup for Portland seemed to give Hofschild some trouble in that press.
Well, they didn't trap her immediately. Sort of kept her contained and didn't let her just go right down the floor.
And Clark picking up a foul as soon as she comes into the game against Fowler. That'll be her first, team's first.
The other day at practice, that's really what the Pilots worked on, is getting their post deep in the paint, get under the rim, bury them before they can even think about double teaming. You're already there to score, and Alex able to pick up the foul.
Emily Sewell checking in, and the inbound from Meek to Burnham. Count it for 2.
Great execution by the Pilots there.
These two teams had similar opponents throughout the season. They both played Weber State, and they both played at Fresno State. Colorado State and Portland were both 2-0 during those games. The Rams keep it on the outside. Hofschild. They kick it out to Kinzer. The 3. That one's no good. Burnham on the rebound.
Kinzer, a very dangerous three-point shooter, 41%. A lot of threes on kickouts, even that against the zone, the high post.
Meek almost had the 3, but it rattles out. And we have a foul called.
Good look for the Pilots there.
Sewell called for the foul.
We have a timeout on the floor. This will be an immediate.
And that'll send us to the media break. 11-4. Pilots are leading. They've had some hot shooting from the outside, specifically from Rose Flug. She's got 9 points already. We'll be right back. Rose Flug has started out blistering hot. She's 3 for 3 from behind the arc, 9 points and a rebound for the senior from Portland, Oregon. Yupe Atasu checking in for Colorado State. And this is big for the Rams. She's another person that can bring the ball up across half court, but right now the Pilots putting on a trap.
Her and Hofschild on the floor together, sort of a dynamic scoring duo. Atasu, 15 points a game.
Hofschild averaging 16.8 a game. That was her first shot so far, and the ball got away from Burnham. A steal by Kinzer.
Atasu right away, making her presence felt.
But she missed the shot. Offensive rebound. That's the first one for the Rams.
Got to find Kinzer.
Hofschild spin move on Kai Tu'u, and short on the shot. You can see how she's so dangerous with the ball in her hands.
You know, even for her size, able to get off shots, able to see, have the vision to find open players. She does a tremendous job.
Burnham inside. She's got 4.
Another great example of Coach Meek's game plan. If they're going to play behind the defense in the post, they want to get as deep as they can under the rim, shoot layups.
Colorado State just one of their last 7. They haven't missed, or they haven't hit their last 5 shots. They're on a drought of over 3 minutes now. Baseline jumper. And that'll end that drought of nearly 3 minutes and 15 seconds as Callie Clark cashes in.
Nice work by the Rams against the zone. Got the ball rotated out of the trap, and Clark knocked down a wide open shot.
Kinzer came down to double team with the post in the paint. Gets the steal. Hochschild again, the spin move.
That's
Kinzer.
Exactly what they want right there. She gets that penetration into the lane area, draws multiple defenders.
Frawley! Frawley doesn't score a lot of points, only averaging 1.9 points per game this season. Well, what a lot of people don't remember, she was one of the best three-point shooters coming out of Australia when she came to the Bluff.
And, you know, she really gives you the lift defensively and starts the press. A lot of energy, toughness, added bonus when she's knocking down threes, but great job.
Kai Tu'u sealing off the defender deep underneath the basket and gets the easy two.
Another great job. Finding post position deep in the lane, shooting layups. Here's another job. Great job by Frawley, and Meek with a double.
Meek comes up and causes the double team. Meck bails out Hochschild, and a blocking call on Burnham. The entire Portland bench up on their feet in disapproval, but Burnham will earn her first foul.
We're going to have a line change here for the Pilots. 5 new players, and this is where that depth can really take its toll on Colorado State, who's starting to go into their bench, which they usually play 6 or 7 players.
Number 12, Alex Fowler. Number 15, Maddie Mohawk. And number 30, Lucy Cochran.
Anna Prim checking in, along with Carly Murphy. For Portland, Flug, Cochran, Shearer, and Moheim back on the court. Same with Alex Fowler. So yeah, just a clean 5 out there to keep those legs fresh for Portland. And the free throws are missed by Meck. Do we have a jump ball? We do. And the arrow pointing towards Colorado State.
In the game for the Rams is number 11,
Petra Farkas now checking in.
And number 23, Anna Prim.
Checks in for Callie Clark. Murphy mid-range, no good. She's just 1 of 5 so far early on in this game. Cochran trying to get position. Fowler wants in on the 3 action, no good. Moheim fighting for the rebound.
Great job by Maddie getting offensive rebounding position.
And we have a foul underneath. You can hear the fans. They were excited with Flug putting up that shot after she hit her first 3.
Great to see the Pilots get off to a great start from the 3-point line. I think a team that actually shoots it better than their percentage is shown all year. I really do.
Inbound to Fowler, double teamed, out to Cochran for the elbow jumper. That's long. 12-point lead for Portland.
I think you can see the press already starting to wear the Rams down a little bit as Hochschild's getting an early break. She plays about 38 minutes a game, so I wouldn't expect her to take a break this early. Nice shot there.
Farkas now has 4 points. And yeah, this pressure, they haven't really seen a lot of what Portland does, picking up full court pressure in your face. As Flug cashing in again, she's got 11 points. She's 4 of 5 shooting.
Flug sets the screen for Cochran, who rolls over the top and takes the defenders with her, and Flug gets rewarded with a wide open shot after a great screen.
Farkas 3, no good. Long rebound for Murphy.
Murphy, their leading rebounder. She does a very good job on the boards, coming up with extra possessions.
Yeah, she averages almost a double-double, 11.5 points to go along with 9 rebounds per game. Farkas, baseline jumper. Murphy fights off for another rebound, and a foul called. Alex Fowler called for that one. Her first and the team's 3rd. So Liana Kai-Tu'u checking in. That'll send Fowler to the bench with 46.4 seconds left.
Careful here for Atasu coming out off a double.
They left Prim alone, the shot fake, and a travel. So the 3rd turnover for the Rams. They're averaging only 9.5 turnovers per game.
Tops in the NCAA, and you know, Portland forces, I think, 19 turnovers a game, so sort of a battle of wills tonight.
Kai to Flug. Under 30 left. Trying to get the pass back to her, and it was partially blocked, and now we've got a foul call.
Deflection by Murphy leads to the steal. Pilots right back to the press.
For the Rams, number 4, McKenna Hofschild.
Hofschild checking back in. Farkas to the bench. Under 30 to go in the quarter, and Kai Tu'u just picked up another foul. And that actually should be 1-and-1 for actually 2 automatic shots, excuse me. No 1-and-1 in women's basketball anymore.
Cheering for Portland, number 4, Keely Frawley.
Frawley will check in for Kai Tu'u.
Number 11, Petra Farkas. At the line for the Rams is number 4, McKenna Hofschild. Shooting 2.
Hofschild was the Mountain West Conference Newcomer of the Year last season. Leads the conference in assists, 5th nationally. As she hits her first free throw, she shoots at 79% from the line. She makes both of them. She's averaging 16.8 points per game this season. So 10-point lead right now for Portland. Pflug wants the last shot, slowing things down. Give to Molheim. The all-time three-point leader can't knock it down. Rebound by Shear. She's got to put it up. She's got seconds to go. Kinzer. And that'll be it. The end of the first quarter goes Portland's way. They lead 20-10. It's been all Pilot basketball here in the first quarter, but a huge effort from Rose Pflug. She's got 11 of the 20 for Portland. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. Welcome back to the Rose City. 10-point lead for Portland as we start the second quarter, 20-10. Rose Pflug had 11 points in the first quarter, leading the way for both teams as she knocked down 3 triples to start this game. Great pass from Burnham to Cochran as she was cutting towards the basket, but Atasu goes down defensively.
If you're Coach Meek, you're awfully happy looking at, talking about our keys for the game. Number 1, you're out rebounding the Rams 13-7, and then the Pilots have held the Rams to 4 for 17 from the floor and 0 of 5 from three-point range.
And you like how your team is moving the ball around too. 8 made baskets with 7 assists as Burnham gets fouled on the inbound.
Third time they've gone to that quick lob on the inbounds. The Rams not quite ready for it, and Burnham will go to the line.
The Pilots is number 24, Macy Burnham, for 2.
Carly Murphy picked up that foul. That'll be her team's first in this quarter. Burnham knocking down the first free throw. She's averaging 9.8 points per game. That's second on the team behind Alex Fowler. She was the Big Sky Freshman of the Year last season at Eastern Washington. And honestly, probably one of the best pickups that Portland had in the transfer portal, because she has just done a wonderful job just in this offense, defense, all the way around. It plays right into her skill set. As you see, she takes it to the hoop right there.
She gives Coach Meeks so much roster flexibility, able to play inside, outside, aggressive, strong. You can see the drive there. Off shield looking deep.
Meck thought better of it. She was going to shoot a three and now brings it inside. And an air ball.
You can see that last possession in the press. They were able to keep Hofschild contained without letting her just knife through the entire press like the possession before for a layup. And I know they want to do that, want to keep her and bother her with their length.
Hofschild only 4 points, 1 of 3 shooting. Burnham in the paint, triple team, kicks it out to Shearer, to Meek. She's got the opening, front iron. Shearer fighting for the loose ball, still out there. And Atasu able to get it for Colorado State. Hofschild got the pass underneath, but then the extra pass was taken away by Shearer.
You could see again when that time when Maisie went to put the ball on the floor, there was immediate help. Sort of that rover position we were talking about that the Pilots were expecting.
Shearer tried to kick it to the corner, deflected, and out of bounds. It'll stay with Portland. Farkas will check back in, Meck to the bench. Now we've already seen Portland get 2, if not 3 baskets on the out of bounds play right here. Meek's gonna have to inbound it, and the long one to Frawley. Seven on the shot clock for Portland.
You see Kinzer really playing in a help position, trying to gap and give extra help. Great pass.
And Frawley either stepped on the end line or she dribbled off the end line. It's a turnover.
Returning for the Pilots, number 12, Alex.
Shearer will head to the bench. Fowler comes into the game.
You can see the adjustment there. They bring Fowler back in for Shearer. Now Burnham will slide over to the wing position. Just gives you really good flexibility and depth.
Hofschild, the long pass up to Farkas.
What a great look.
She'll pick up another assist, her second one on the day so far.
One-handed off the dribble, fires the left-handed full court pass for the layup.
Kinzer on defense of Meek. Farkas closes out on Cochran.
Really trying to pressure the high post for the Pilots, not let them see inside. Great rebound.
Fowler with the rebound.
Another key that we talked about was those extra possessions. Colorado State gives up almost 10 offensive rebounds a game, and that was a concern for them as well. But you see, when you run good offense, get a great shot, you know McKell's going to shoot that, and Alex positions herself, gets ready for that offensive rebound, and there she is for it.
Fowler making the first free throw. Fowler is a 3-time WCC first-team All-Selection. She's averaging 17.4 points per game, which leads this team. Hofschild kicks it to the corner. Atusu!
Atasu, very dangerous from three-point range. And that's sort of Colorado State's MO right there, is to nice backdoor.
And Fowler finishes it off underneath.
But if you let Hofschild get penetration into that paint area, got multiple shooters on the perimeter.
Fowler's got 4 points. She needs 4 more points to move into 5th place all-time in Portland program history. Atasu again, another triple.
Pretty stroke by Atasu. She is a legitimate elite scorer, from not only from three-point range, but also putting the ball on the floor. Again, high pressure on the high post, trying not to let him see inside.
And a lazy arcing pass for an easy steal for Murphy. Atasu, a grad student from Butler. And she has become the Mountain West Conference Newcomer of the Year this season. Kinzer unloads from deep, and that one finds its way down.
Kinzer shoots 41% from 3 and will shoot it several steps behind the line.
Yeah, she's second in the Mountain West Conference in 3-point field goals. She's considered one of the most prolific shooters from the outside in the conference. It's a 5-point game. Portland was just up by 10 at the end of the quarter, and at one point they were up by 12.
You can see they're guarding Cochran with player not quite as tall, but they're really trying to pressure her.
And Burnham taking up a couple of bodies underneath, freed up Frawley to get that rebound and put back.
That's the energy and the hustle you were talking about with Frawley, what she brings to this Pilot team, and just winning plays.
That ends a 6-0 run for Colorado State. Frawley the rebound.
Fowler running the post lane again. Great seal.
Almost too far underneath, the handoff to Cochran.
Talked early about how important it was to defend the paint for the Rams, and that's a perfect example of how well those two posts play together for the Pilots.
Timeout call by Colorado State. That'll send us to break. 32-23. Fowler the dish to Cochran to push that lead up to 9. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. Welcome back inside the Chiles Center. Just over 5 minutes to go until halftime. 5:21 with a 9-point lead for Portland. Brian Slyke and Joel Sabacco with your call. And Joel, looking at the stats, start out this second quarter, Colorado State 3 of 4 from behind the arc that was able to get this game back within single digits, but lately it's been a small run by Portland to push this lead back to 9.
It is, and
I don't know how Offshield just made that right there, but
yeah,
excellent
Rams aren't going to go anywhere. This is a team that can really score, really shoot the ball. I think the Pilots need to continue that pressure, and you can see 5'5" still able to get inside the paint, get to the foul line area, and knock it down for the and one.
Basket is good for number 4, McKenna Offshield.
Offshield already 2 for 2 from the stripe. She had 27 points in that loss to UNLV in the Mountain West Conference Championship game.
Already with 4 assists as well.
Flug with it. Sewell has checked in along with Molheim. Flug all the way to the rack. She's got 13.
Great spacing by the Pilots. You got Fowler at the top of the key. You can't leave her, and it opens up the lane for Rose Flug.
Flug's career high is 17. As Offshield, the floater. She's got 9 points.
You really got to get the ball out of her hands because she can score it or find the open person, and she just does a great job of making decisions.
Screen by Fowler. They give it back to her for the three-point opportunity. Back iron, Farkas rebound.
This is where Coach Meek really wanted to stress that transition defense, getting back and getting their defense set. Back to the zone.
Skip inside him. The Clark. Atasu already hit her first 2. That one looked good.
She doesn't need a lot of space either. She'll take that shot even with someone right there. Great post up by Fowler.
And the defender all over her. She'll head to the line for three-point play.
Coach Meek made the point in practice the other day, talking about rewarding the post for running the floor, getting great position, and credit to Rose Flug looking inside, and more credit to Alex Fowler for getting that position and finishing the play.
With that last basket, she has 6 points. Make it 7. Her next basket, or her next point, either way, will move her into 5th place all-time on Portland's scoring list.
This is where the Pilot press can be dangerous when it's not in Hofschild's hands.
Farkas couldn't get a handle on it. And you're right, Hofschild just looks so comfortable, already knows where she's going to go with the ball, it seems like, when she's getting pressured. And a steal by Shearer. Shearer leads this team in steals this season. This Portland team overall ranks 10th in steals, averaging 11.6 per game.
You can see the pressure that Farkas is trying to apply to Cochran. She's given up quite a bit of size, but with ball pressure, she gets Cochran to kind of turn her back a little bit. That's what she wants.
Flug testing that heat again, off the mark from behind the arc.
I could see Cochran getting to the offensive boards a little bit, causing some problems for the Rams.
Murphy with it at the high post.
Great recovery by Maddie to cut off that high post. Colorado State will continue to flash people to that high post, looking to make plays.
Clara Gomez. She just checked into the game. Gomez, a freshman from Spain, averaging just 1.1 rebounds per game. In fact, she only had 10 total points. Make it 12 now. And Fowler moves into 5th place all-time on the Portland scoring list.
Great execution. Another backdoor look for Fowler. The Rams looking to overplay, keep the ball in her hands, and she gets a layup.
And Hofschild missing the floater.
This is where the Pilots need to run. This is where Cochran can get that deep post position.
Pilots moving around the outside. Skip pass as Flug was cutting from behind and slips through her hands. You have to think it would have been an easy layup. There was nobody that was covering her. They were already double teaming. It looked like Cochran down low.
Right idea. Hofschild likes to use a high ball screen in the middle of the floor, give her options on either side of the floor.
Murphy at the high post.
Pilots back into a man-to-man.
Hook shot well off the mark against Cochran. Now Cochran leads this team in blocks. She holds the single season record, which is 110, unless she adds onto it today. But it's just her length that affects so many shots.
Her length, her timing, and her ability to know when she can change a shot. Steal by the Rams.
Farkas slows it down. Gives it up to Hofschild. Almost lost her footing. Atasu, air ball. Murphy the rebound.
Getting back to Cochran, though, her ability to change shots and defend without fouling. She does a nice job of not going after and trying to block every single shot. Pilots will call timeout.
Timeout for Portland with 53.4 seconds left until halftime. They've got a 7-point lead. And Carly Murphy, who just had that rebound, is now #1 in the single season rebounding list for Colorado State. As Murphy's got 4 rebounds. She now has 282 in a single season.
Does a great job for the Rams, not only rebounding on the offensive end, but the defensive end. And you could see her positioning and her finish. She went to her right hand hook the possession before and missed that, but even though she's not quite as tall as some of the posts you may see throughout the year, she really does a good job of getting her shot off and using shot fakes around the paint, which she's going to need to do around Cochran.
And there you see it, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 5th all-time in points. She's got 1,544 career points. Still has quite a long way to reach #1 on that list as Mikkel Meek checks into the game along with Maisie Burnham and Keely Frawley.
They want to look inside to Fowler at this point.
Meek puts up the 3, hits front iron. And the referee's going to talk it over. Steve Belknap had the initial call, but Sean Martin overrules him, says it's Portland basketball. So 35 seconds left on the clock. They'll get 20 on the shot clock. Fakes the handoff. Fowler quickly to the basket, and she gets the roll.
Great execution. We saw him go over those sideline out of bounds plays, those sort of those special teams plays, and awesome job by the Pilots there.
Ball still loose. Fowler with it. Pilots moving it in transition. Now they'll slow it down. 12 seconds left until halftime. Meek looking at the clock. She wants Cochran to come up. 4 on the clock. Meek's got to put it up soon. So does Burnham. And she got fouled as the shot went up. We should have 2 shots. I want to say that went off before the buzzer. And they will call a foul on 0. Kendall Kinzer.
They might take a look at it just to make sure, but it looked like she did get it off in time. No panic by the Pilots. Just continue to execute. They knew where they wanted to go with the ball. Burnham's a tough matchup. Being able to go inside, post up, also out on the perimeter.
Right now, Portland is in a great spot. I mean, yeah, you see the ball reach the rim. And they are reviewing for time on the clock right now after that foul.
Those early threes that Rose Flug knocked down really makes it tough for Colorado State to defend the way they want to defend on Fowler inside, on Cochran as well, and sag and help and bring multiple players to them if they do post them up. So I think you're going to see the Pilots with some open looks from 3, and if they continue to knock those down, it's going to be hard to defend that way.
So Burnham at the line. They put 0.5 seconds left on the clock. Colorado State, they're holding teams to just 63 points per game. Burnham missing the first free throw. And you'll get another look at it right here. But right now, Portland with 41 points, and Fowler just hit the deck hard with Kinzer. They got tied up. And they'll just inbound it, and that will end the half. No foul called on that one. But 42-32. Pilots lead by 10 at the half. That was the same lead they had at the end of the first quarter, Joel.
Colorado State shot it better in that second quarter, but had to go into their bench. It'll be interesting to see how the second half plays out.
We'll be right back on the WCC Network to talk about the first half.
Even when I was little, just growing up, I knew I wanted to play in college.
I've kind of always just wanted to go here, so I'd come out to the games and like sit in the stands and see them, and like I genuinely believed that I could be one of them.
Being on the court felt like nothing else mattered.
I just thought it was fun.
I've always been not the most athletic, not the tallest, not the skinniest.
I know what it's like to feel like you can't do it, but you really can.
I play to prove others wrong.
I find purpose in making the people who supported me proud.
Trust that all the hard work you've put in is going to pay off. Go out there and try to prove each and every person wrong that's ever doubted you.
Running a race is one of the most physically and mentally challenging things, but crossing that finish line, that feeling just can't be matched.
Competing feels like I'm on top of the world.
All it takes is one conversation.
I'm just proud of their team performance.
All it takes is one opportunity to be successful.
Pick 10, they're in the championship round. Like, what can you tell me? I mean, what a celebration to have.
Being in the stands as a little girl and now being on the court, being able to represent myself and the game and University of Portland.
I used to see myself as just a basketball player. Now I see myself as a role model.
Here's to the next gen.
We have all been challenged and wonder, where do we go from here? Find your purpose in a welcoming community. Question assumptions and discover truths. You could join a team researching ways to prevent cancer. Immerse yourself in social justice. Challenge yourself to rise above expectations and apply your knowledge to make a living and a difference. Engage in the pursuit of education with a deeper purpose at the University of Portland.
I'm Ellie Becker. I'm going to be a senior, and I'm on the women's track and cross country team. I'm part of the Ethics and Professions internship this summer, and it's through UP, and I'm also partnered with Catholic Charities, which is a nonprofit based in Oregon, and they do a variety of services from houseless services, immigration legal services. My specific role with that is volunteer engagement, so I'm looking at the partners that Catholic Charities works with and kind of conversing with them about what's valuable and meaningful for the community that they work with and how we can better engage volunteers, better engage the people that we work with, and also just helping the general Portland community. One of the things I really wanted to gain out of this internship was to just gain more connection to the people in the UP community and also to the people in the general Portland community. It's been super valuable to have these conversations and then being able to follow up later with, hey, you know, like what was that book that you told me about, or what was that article, or where can I find that person? So that's been a really good experience, just learning different people's stories and how that connects with my own and being able to kind of transfer that into what I want to do in the future. Athletics has helped me, and just being an athlete in general has helped me a lot with any work experience and life experience I've had. Especially with this internship, I'm working very collaboratively with a team, and so I think being able to communicate what I need and ask for help, I've learned that through sports, and that it's okay to ask for help and get support from people around you. So that's been the main thing, just that team mindset that's really put me in a leadership position for this internship, as well as being an athlete.
Welcome back inside the Chiles Center. A 10-point lead for the Portland Pilots, 42-32 over Colorado State in the opening round of the WNIT. The winner takes on Oregon State. Well, it was a well-played first half between these two teams. Portland started off hot from behind the arc. They hit their first 3 threes. Since then, though, they have cooled off, just one of their last 12. But really, what are your thoughts on the play from both teams so far in that first half, Joel?
Well, I think when we look back at the keys, Portland's done a nice job defending the three-point line. Colorado State 3 for 11. Like you mentioned, Portland's cooled off a little bit from 3. They've taken 15, which is a number that's getting up there a little bit. When you look at Alex Fowler, 4 for 7, 3 for 3 from the line. A lot of those are layups, and you want to continue to make sure that they have to defend her first. You're going to end up with some perimeter opportunities because she's so good in the post. Like to see Lucy Cochran get involved a little bit more. Only 1 rebound, 1 for 2 from the floor, but the Pilots have doubled up the Rams on the boards, 22-11.
Yeah, one of the key players in that first half was Rose Fluke. She had 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. And we talked about it in the open. It was the fact that Colorado State was going to close down on whoever was on the block, and that really opened up things for Rose Fluke.
It did right away, and she was ready to step in and take some really good shots. You could tell that that was their game plan. Rose was ready to play, and I think the Pilots are going to have to be prepared for that the entire second half. You can't be surprised when you're open. One thing we mentioned was you don't have to shoot it right when it comes back. You can throw it right back in or maybe drive it and get somebody else even better shot.
Let's take a look at the stats from the first half between these two teams. And right now, Portland is shooting 51.6%, which is well above their average. Colorado State shooting at about 40. That is their average. But you talked about it, the three-point shooting for Portland. Again, Rose Fluke started 3 for 3 in that game, and so far they're 1 of 12 over their last few shots. And then the rebounding category, you talked about that as well, doubling up Colorado State. One thing that really sticks out to me, 12 assists on 16 made field goals for Portland.
That's good offense. That means you're executing offense. People know when shots are going to go up. They've also got to the offensive boards, 6 offensive boards for the Pilots as well.
And then we talked about Colorado State moving in transition. They wanted to get those points fast. They forced 9 turnovers on Portland, but really they only have 4 transition points.
Yeah, the most dangerous they've been in transition is even against the press when Hofschild's got the ball and been able to split the trap and actually go the length of the floor. She is so good in transition in the open floor at finding people, but also scoring the ball. You know, we look at her stats for that first half. She's 3 for 6, 3 for 3 from the line, 9 points, 4 assists, and 0 turnovers.
And a big production from Portland is their bench getting involved. They've got 16 points to just Colorado's 10. And really, it's been all Portland if you're talking about leads and production, because Portland has not let go of that lead for 1 second. They led all the way through that first half for 18 minutes.
That second quarter was even, and you've seen, I think, Colorado State go much deeper into their bench than they have all season. You know, there's people, and I think part of that isn't so much that they're tired right now, but I think Coach Williams knows he's going to need those starters late in the fourth quarter, and if he can buy some time early, hopefully they'll be fresh later in the game.
Well, that's it for halftime for us. We're about a couple minutes away from the start of the second half here inside the Chiles Center. 10-point lead for the Pilots. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. As the final seconds tick off the halftime clock, we're ready to start the third quarter here inside the Chiles Center. Brian Slyke, Joel Savaka on the call. and a 10-point Pilot lead, 42-32. You know, it was 22-all in that second quarter, a lot closer than what it was in the first quarter. What adjustments are you thinking Colorado State will make here in the second half?
Well, I see one to start with is Atasu will start this third quarter, and she came in red hot, knocked down her first 2 threes, and she's capable of big numbers, averaging 15 points on the year. Doesn't need a lot of space to knock down threes, but I think they're going to try to do more of even trying to take Alex Fowler away if they can.
And now on the Portland side, you know a thing or two about getting in the mind of Coach Meek? What do you think he said to his team?
I think continuing with the game plan, looking to get those deep post catches, try to contain Hofschild in the press, and then really looking to attack in transition, getting those stops and getting out and going.
Man-to-man defense for Colorado State. What we didn't see a lot of in that first half was the zone defense by Portland, and Cochran getting in on the scoring.
Just what we talked about. Coach Meek, I think, thinking the same thing. We need to get Lucy involved and run a nice little back screen play, roll her to the basket for an easy layup.
Atasu almost in trouble with that high arcing pass. But the Rams get it across the timeline.
Pilots back in the zone. A lot of length out front with it. Shear and Fowler up top.
Meck dribbling it out. Gets it back to Kinzer. 2 on the shot clock. She has to put it up, and Shear blocks it right in her face. Murphy's shot did not go. Shot clock violation.
Pilots not only executing on offense, but they're on defense. They went zone to man. Really got Colorado State standing around and end up with a turnover.
And that just makes things so difficult when you change defenses mid-possession.
Another back screen for Cochran.
And the pass off the backboard leads to a turnover, and the Rams are moving. Atasu in the paint, tried to give it up to Murphy, and a turnover.
Great hands by the Pilots.
And the lead pass up to Fowler, too strong on that shot. She knew it as soon as she let it go.
Nice look by Shearer, though. One thing I'm so impressed with Alex Fowler is how hard she plays, but how hard she runs the floor. She beats everyone down the floor. It doesn't matter what possession.
Meck gets her first points.
They like to use her at the high post against the zone. Soft touch in there, a little bit of length, and an open spot in there.
We'll see if Flug can keep up the scoring that she had in the first half. She had 13 points. Her career high is 17. And now she's got 15.
That was an isolation. They knew Flug against Kinzer that Flug can put it down and go by here. Nice job by Coach Meek, recognizing that, creating an ISO opportunity for Rose.
And it looked like Shearer put her hands on Hofschild, and she did. She gets called for the foul.
I think that might be the first foul that the Pilots have had in the press tonight, which is really good.
There's another look at that play by Flug. Everybody on the court right now for Colorado State at one point was a Division I player at a different school. Meck was over at Denver. She's with the ball right now. Kinzer was at Fresno State the last couple of seasons. Hofschild went to Seton Hall and blocked by Fowler.
Pilots look to attack in transition.
And we got a carry. Rose knew it. It popped out of her hand as she was trying to bring it across half court.
That's too bad.
But going back on that Hofschild shot, you know, she was off balance when she took it. I think that's why they didn't call that foul on Fowler.
Well, and Fowler went straight up. You know, the rules have changed to kind of reward you for good defense if you come down or you lean down on somebody, but she went straight up and she shot it right into her.
Meck with it, back inside, soft touch.
She's a nice job in that mid-range area, kind of finding the seams in the zone right now. You can see her trying to pressure and be physical with Cochran right now. There's
Fowler
the double.
Kicked it back out to Rose Flug. She's short on that shot, and it hit the end line.
You want those shots to have, you have room and rhythm, and I didn't think Rose was in rhythm on that shot. Plenty of room, but got to expect those. She was really expecting those shots early. They're going to double Fowler, that rover as Coach Meek talked about.
And it looks like Cochran will be called for the foul. That'll be her first. Team second in the quarter.
Pilots worked on the press in practice. They talked about staying up the line towards the ball, these secondary defenders, so they can rotate for steals.
Hofschild behind the back, gets past Shearer. Now she's in trouble in the paint, gives it up to Kinzer. Floater over Cochran, back iron.
Nice rebound.
Flug moving the ball up. Almost turned it over. Pilots up by 10 in the first round of the WNIT.
Boy, Murphy and Fowler been really battling inside.
And it looked like Fowler just had a sigh of relief that it was finally called.
I think you could see the Pilots flip-flop those posts and let Fowler go outside a little bit against Murphy and then move Cochran into the inside.
Clark comes in for Murphy after she picks up her second foul. You can see on the right side of your screen, Fowler just trying to get any type of position. All right, this is a Meek special. Baseline out of bounds play. And the pass gets to Fowler. They take it out. Kick ball.
Maisie Burnham into the game, and when she's in with Cochran and Fowler, you got three different players that can post up and, you know, almost force the Rams to double team.
Flug inbounding. It looked like Fowler might have gotten held at the hip by Clark. No call. 15 on the shot clock for Portland.
Pilots looking inside. This is where Fowler's so tough. She can step out against you as well.
Flug almost had 17 as it circled the drain, but didn't go. Hofschild. Atasu. Bang! Colorado State hits the triple.
Hofschild does such a good job of not only throwing you the pass, but finding like wide open passes.
Atasu with 9 points that ties Hofschild for the team lead. Flug's looking for a new career high.
Pilots were posting Keely Frawley against Hofschild. Didn't see her inside.
Flug, after hitting her first 3 threes, has now missed her last 4 shots.
Great rebound by Burnham. There we are looking inside.
And Fowler can't get it to go. Ball's still loose.
Fowler looks a little bit tired. They might need to get her a break, but again, great execution looking inside.
The media break's coming up for Clark. Long 3, no good, and Flug will let that one go out of bounds. And that's the break that Fowler needs as Kaitu and Meek will check in. We'll go to break. 4:46 left to go in the third quarter. Down to a 7-point lead for Portland, 46-39 here in the Rose City. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. Colorado State making up some ground here in the third quarter. They now trail by 7 after trailing by 10 at halftime. Portland, though, no points in the last 3 minutes and about 15 seconds. They're 0 for their last 4, and that pass goes off the hand of Cochran, extending that drought.
Went right back to the diagonal back screen, trying to bring Cochran to the block, and a little bit too much heat on the pass, but right idea by the Pilots.
Cochran has 4 points and a single rebound so far. Off shield to Atasu.
Really got to know where Atasu is.
Kinzer. That's her first 3.
Those 3 between Kinzer, Atasu, and Hofschild, when they get penetration against the zone, they draw 2 and kick out. Those 3s are going to be there.
8-0 run for Colorado State over the last 3 minutes. Meek open in the corner. And we've got players on the floor right now, and they just called that on Maisie Burnham. We're saying that she brought down Atasu, so Burnham picks up her second.
Atasu really battling, giving up some height to Burnham, but battling her in the post and on the rebound.
Into the Rams, number 24, Sydney Meck.
And you see Burnham fell to the ground right there and just fighting for position and back down again. So under 4 left to go in the third quarter, a 4-point game. The Rams getting back into it.
Got to know where Kinzer is against the zone. She'll step off 2-3 steps behind the line and knock it down like she just did.
Pilots trapping Hofschild. She gets out of it. Meck goes baseline, kicks it back out to Hofschild, to Kinzer. 7 on the shot clock. Meck puts up the 3. She hits it for Colorado State. It's a 1-point game.
Number 1 key that we talked about was the 3-point shooting of Colorado State, and here they go.
Probably flashing. They give it to Kai Tu'u. 11-0 run right now for Colorado State. Portland just one of their last 7. The backdoor to Meek, and she can't hit it. And it'll stay with Portland as she made the extra effort, but Portland right now, no points in 4.5 minutes.
What a great cut, and then a great pass by Cochran. Great vision to see Meek cutting to the rim, and that's what you need to do against the double team. Just came up a little short on the finish, but able to hustle and get it back.
Portland will switch out Cochran for Fowler. And 20 on the shot clock. Portland just needs to get a basket right here to get anything going for him. Kai Tu'u can't do it. Still fighting for the offensive board. It's Fowler, the extra effort.
Great offensive rebound.
Fowler's closing in on a double-double. And the feed to Burnham in the way-in.
Another great basket cut. Ball goes in the post. Defender turns their head. Cut to the rim, and you get rewarded.
Burnham now has 11, one of 3 Pilots with double-digit points. Hofschild, near the paint, got Meek to go by her. Can't get the touch.
Pilots looking for Fowler early in transition.
Meek thought she had an opening. Now she'll slow it down and take it back out.
We've got Kinzer on Meek, and she's sort of sagging in, trying to help.
And loose ball ends up in the hands of Hofschild. In and out. That would have tied this game up.
Great pass by Hofschild again. That transition, penetration, she gets so deep and forces so much help.
Fowler going against Clark. Deep underneath the basket. Gives it up to Kai Tu'u. 10 on the shot clock for Portland. Skip to Meek. Puts up another 3. She has not had a great shooting night. She's now 0 for 8 and 0 for 6 from behind the arc.
Getting some really good looks.
And she can knock down those shots. She's the former Oregon 6A State Player of the Year and the Gatorade State Player of the Year as a lethal 3-point shooter at Southridge High School.
Great effort by Fowler to come up with that loose ball. Those 50-50 balls in a 3-point game, 1-possession game, those can be the difference.
Fowler closing in on a double-double, 11 points, 9 rebounds. She needs 3 more rebounds to move up the all-time list. And 1!
Frawley with the aggressive drive, finds a seam and attacks the paint.
Second team foul.
She's got a sneaky 7 points. Has a chance to get it to 8. As Mulheim comes back into the game along with Rose Flug. Atasu in for Colorado State.
Another great example, though, of not settling for threes. They're not falling. Keep the ball moving from side to side, and you'll get those driving lanes.
Frawley making the free throw. Frawley with 8 points.
Foul on Shear, guarding Atasu in the backcourt. These two guards are very difficult to play full court one-on-one as fast as they are, and their quick first step.
Frawley has tied her season high in points. Hofschild, acrobatic, but hit the underside of the rim.
Nice job there by Rose Flug, not coming over, giving her the opportunity.
Mulheim hits the 3, but Fowler hit the deck first. They're calling a foul. I believe it's on Kinzer.
They might even look at that, maybe not, but I thought Rose Flug did a great job of not going to Hofschild to give her the opportunity for the kick out to 3, make her finish a tough shot in the lane, and wasn't able to.
So Farkas will head to the bench. Meck back out on the court. Inbound play for Portland. Inbound pass was tipped. Kaitu couldn't get a clean handle on it. And the Portland fans want it to be Portland basketball. Shearer, Kaitu, and Fowler want them to look at it. Here you'll get a replay. It almost looked like Sydney Meck may have touched it before going out of bounds. It was tough to tell on that replay, though.
Didn't ask for help there, but
Flug left her feet. Kinzer drives in, using the glass, but it's out.
Nice job by the Pilots making Kinzer put the ball on the floor.
Fowler's now got a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Portland just 2 of their last 10 shooting.
Nice to see Mulheim get going here a little bit.
20 seconds left in the quarter. And no, they called a travel on Flug, no basket.
Took an extra hop in there when she got to the lane.
Lucy Cochran checking back in. Kaitu will head to the bench. Portland with a 6-point lead. Colorado State has not scored in 3 minutes and 16 seconds.
Need to get the ball in bounds.
Give it back to Kinzer.
Kinzer not one of their primary ball handlers.
And it hit the sideline.
Nice job by Fowler applying that pressure. 10.4 to play here in the third.
Hofschild with it. 10 seconds left in the quarter. They give to Clark underneath, and she was short on it. I don't think Cochran got a hand on it. The push up to Shearer. She puts it up, beats the buzzer!
What a pass!
Flug looking up the court, knew how much time was left, got it to Shearer just in the nick of time to beat the buzzer.
Huge momentum play looking up the floor. The Pilots attack in transition. Got to keep you energized as you head to the fourth.
Pilots didn't score for 4.5 minutes. They end the quarter on a 7-0 run, capitalized by that Shearer basket to end the third. 53-45 on the WCC Network. Rose Flug leading the way for the Pilots right now. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists for the senior transfer from Pepperdine. She has stepped up in a big way in the absence of Haley Andrews since the Pilots lost her against BYU at the beginning of February. Seems like Flug has just hit another gear with her leading the way now in this offense.
A little separation there at the end of the third quarter was huge for the Pilots. As you mentioned earlier, 32 points in the paint for the Pilots is a big number and probably right where they're going to go back to.
Talking about the keys in this game, rebounding was going to be a big one in Portland right now, doubling Colorado State. Flug, tough take, no good.
Nice job by Pilots isolating Kinzer on the wing. Flug with the attack, just came up a little short on the layup.
Great pass from Atasu into Mech. Now Portland's going to have to be careful, Joel and I. We called a game against Loyola Marymount where Portland had a large lead in the game, and then it came down to a final basket for the Lions to take the victory over Portland, so they cannot get comfortable.
No, especially very similar team. Nice pass.
Way to find Flug, and she ties her career high with 17.
Great pass from Fowler, head up. Great cut by Rose Flug, but that LMU game, LMU with 2 really good guards as well, and when you have 2 scoring guards that can both handle the ball, make other players better, and score the ball, you got to be careful because they're both dangerous at going off at any point.
Fowler got hit in the face on that one. It'll be Colorado State basketball. And there you get a nice replay of Flug cutting from behind with Fowler being double teamed. Kinzer the corner, 3 goes. She's got 9 points.
Colorado State stretching the defense with their ability to shoot the ball now. 7 for 20 from 3. Right up about where their percentage normally is for the season.
Murphy checks back in for Colorado State. She's been on the bench recently with a couple of fouls. Flug gives it up to Fowler. High arcing 3. She knew it wasn't going and followed up her miss, but couldn't get the rebound.
Off shield and transition.
And a foul call. That'll be on Shearer. That's her 3rd.
She's so poised coming down in transition. She knows all of her options, sort of like a quarterback reading the secondary, but still has the ability to go and attack and finish. 3 for 3 from the line as well already tonight.
9 points, 8 assists, and 2 rebounds. Missing that free throw. You can hear the fans making some noise here inside the Child Center. Hofschild gets the second one to go. Moheim out, Maisie Burnham in.
Colorado State's done a nice job of defending Moheim, not giving her those open looks, but I would keep an eye on that. She might come up with a big 3 before it's all over.
Fowler near the elbow. Poked away by Atasu. She lost the handle. Now Hofschild. Downhill, and Cochran with a block.
Nice block by Cochran, but Tasu against Burnham is a tough matchup, but there Tasu used her quickness to get the steal, and here's Cochran trailing the play with a nice block.
Frawley checking in for Shearer. Frawley has tied her season high in points that she set in the last home game of the season against Pepperdine. And Hofschild trying to save it. Colorado State retains possession.
Nice hustle by Kinzer to keep that ball alive.
10 on the shot clock for Colorado State. Skip pass to the corner to Mech. She's going baseline over Cochran, too strong. Rebound, Burnham. And where's the foul call on this one?
Not sure.
They called it on 24. And that's on Burnham.
A little bit of a push on Murphy.
You see a push there. Long shot, no good. Flug pushing it up to Fowler. She has been seeing everybody down the court tonight.
Yeah, Rose Flug doing a great job of finding Fowler, who just continues to outrun everybody in transition. Nice skip pass.
Back iron, and
Here they
Portland's
come
got the
again.
ball again. 6-point lead with 7 minutes to go. The winner takes on Oregon State in the next round.
Pilots looking to go a little high-low action.
Double teamed, kicked it out to Flug. Now it's to Burnham. Corner three. Rattles out. Offensive rebound. And she puts it back.
What an effort by Burnham, but give the Pilots credit going and keeping that ball alive on the offensive boards. Burnham with the hustle play.
Burnham's got 13 points.
Pilots got the Rams scrambling a little bit right now. Got to get out there.
That three, halfway down and out.
Coach Meek talks about that. The shooting percentages tend to drop in that fourth quarter when you've been playing against the press and the half-court pressure all game, and seeing that a little bit. Colorado State looking a little bit fatigued right now.
Colorado State just one of their last 7 shooting.
Pilots doing a nice job of just sort of slowing things down. There's the back door again.
Fowler just lulled Murphy to sleep and then went back door on her. And she'll head to the line.
Really nice job of just taking advantage of what the defense is giving them. They're overplaying Fowler, trying to keep the ball out of her hands, and they've caught Murphy, I think, 3 or 4 times on that same play.
The drought is over 2 minutes now for Colorado State. Fowler with 13. She's tied with Burnham, the second leading scorer in tonight's game. Now she's all alone with 14 and perfect 4 for 4 from the stripe.
Murphy and Atasu both getting a quick break here in the fourth quarter. Great hustle.
Burnham saves it in the corner. Frawley's all alone. Nobody was covering her. Unable to knock it down. Still fighting for that rebound. It's Fowler. The extra effort.
Huge possession there. Run some more clock. Get your offense set. But the Pilots, we talked about those rebounds, those long shots, long rebounds, but
Burnham in the paint. Pass off the hand of Kinzer. And Kai Tu'u will check in for Fowler, who has earned herself a breather. 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists for Alex Fowler so far tonight. And Coach Meek and the Pilots call timeout with 5:38 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll send it to break. A 9-point lead right now for Portland. Flug, Burnham, and Fowler all in double digits for the Pilots. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. Alex Fowler just keeps moving up the top 10 list all time for Portland. With that rebound right there, she now has 696 career rebounds. That moves her into 8th place all time here on the Bluff.
Extra effort rebounds, extra possessions, which as we get deeper into this fourth quarter, those are extremely important. And, you know, forget that this is a winner season over game, and you can start to feel that excitement and kind of that pressure build as we get late into the fourth quarter here.
Flug inbounding for Portland. She's got to get it in soon. Tipped by Kinzer and a steal.
Great hands by Kinzer.
That's the 12th steal by Colorado State tonight. Hofschild.
Pilots in the zone. Meck at the high post.
Hofschild step back to get around Kai Tu'u. Front iron, no good.
Nice job by the Pilots. Good contest there.
Pilots have been holding Colorado State to shooting woes. Kinzer's 3 for 10. Hofschild is 3 for 11. Atasu is 3 for 10.
Great kick out by Burnham.
New career high for Rose Flug. She's got 20.
They left Flug to go double Burnham on the drive, and she made the nice unselfish play, and Flug was ready to shoot it.
Colorado State has not scored in 3 minutes and 15 seconds, and almost another turnover.
Fortunate there for the Rams.
Foul on the ground. Farkas trying to encourage her teammates to get things going right now. 4.5 minutes left in the season.
Credit Rose Flug, though, being ready to step in and knock the shot down.
We have a media timeout.
And that'll send us to break. 63-51 with 4:36 left to go. Rose Flug, a career night, 8 of 14 shooting, 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists for the senior from Portland, Oregon. We'll be right back on the WCC Network. It's now a 12-point lead for Portland, 63-51. They're on an 8-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes. Meanwhile, Colorado State, they have not scored in 3.5 minutes. And Joel, you and I were talking at the break. If you're Portland and Coach Meek, what were you telling them in that huddle?
I think you really got to know where the shooters are. Kinzer, Atasu especially, and even Hofschild as well. But you got to get out, bother those shots. That's too open.
They're fortunate Atasu missing that one. Rebound for Frawley.
Pilots doing a tremendous job on the boards.
They're out-rebounding Colorado State by 20.
Especially on the defensive boards, just giving them one shot, and it's able to start their transition game. I don't know where Kinzer is and Atasu, both of them.
Hofschild, the high arcing three, drops into the bucket.
I stand corrected as she looks for her shot there, and big players make big shots. She scored a lot of points in her career. She's not afraid to take a big shot.
Foul called on number 11, Petra Farkas. That's her third and the second team foul in this quarter. Farkas will go to the bench, and Sydney Meck back on the court for the Rams. One of the countless inbound plays for Portland. And it was slow to process right there. Meek calling a timeout to keep possession.
I think you'll see him maybe come up with something a little different, maybe a counter what they've done earlier in the game, trying to score off of this out-of-bounds play.
If you're Colorado State, that big three right there by Hofschild gets it back within 9. What are you trying to do here in these final couple of minutes to try to get back into this game? You forced a lot of turnovers on Portland. You just haven't turned those into points.
Yeah, you've got to get consecutive stops here. They can't trade buckets to finish this game, but they need a stop here. And then hopefully for them, if you're Colorado State, you want to get out in transition. You've got an incredible point guard who not only can score it, but can find shooters. You've got shooters on the floor. For Portland, you want to get back in transition, get your defense set, and make sure you know where the shooters are.
All right, second chance at this inbound play. Lots of screens being put out there. And they'll find the bailout and Fowler.
Fowler against Meck inside, but you've also seen Flug attack Kinzer off the dribble.
Flug picks up her dribble. Now she needs some help. Finds Fowler. There's 6 on the shot clock. Flug sees it. Couple dribbles to her right. Knocks down the 3. She's got all the confidence in the world right now.
Huge basket as the clock's running out. Not pretty good defense by Colorado State. Pilots settle into the zone again. Identify the shooters.
Kinzer, the deep 3. Offensive rebound for Colorado State. Offshield breaking down Shear, taking it to the basket, and she gets fouled.
Tough call there. I think Shear was just trying to get out of the way.
Shear picks up her 4th, and the 4th team foul here in the 4th quarter.
That's where Hofschild's so good at using her size to create contact and at least get herself to the line. She's a very good free throw shooter as well. Almost 80%.
If you're Colorado State, you have to think about attacking the basket more here. Each foul is going to stop the clock, and the next foul for Portland is going to put you automatically at the line for 2.
Scoring with the clock stopped at the free throw line is, other than making threes, is the quickest way to get back in this game.
10-point game. Flug slows it down.
Pilots content to work some clock and then get into their offense. You can see Colorado State resting a little bit on defense as well, not really out pressuring.
12 on the shot clock.
Backdoor look again, this time for Cochran. Wasn't there. Good defense by Meck.
Fowler saw the mismatch that she wanted, gives it up to Frawley. The 3 goes!
Like having a point guard playing forward for you. Fowler attacks, draws the attention, and Frawley with a huge shot for the Pilots.
Mulheim picks up the foul. That's her first. That'll stop the clock for 2 free throws, but Frawley setting a new season high with 11 points.
If you're Portland, you don't want to stop the clock, especially against the press, but there you see the kick out and Frawley ready to shoot. They shoot a lot of those shots in practice. And
yeah, the bench was loving that last shot. Offshield. Again, making that free throw. She now has 16 points, and she's 7 of 8 from the line.
Getting back to that last play in the press, you don't want to foul unnecessary and, number 1, stop the clock, but put Hofschild on the line.
And a timeout called by Coach Williams for Colorado State. It'll be a 30-second timeout. So an 11-point lead right now for Portland. Have to be smart? Are you just trying to work your offense, eat up some more clock on that side?
I wouldn't be shocked here to see some pressure from Colorado State. Maybe if they pick up full court, they need to create some turnovers. If you're Portland, you're attacking. You'll take a layup against the press or in transition, but otherwise continue to work through your post. That last possession there, they looked at the back door. It wasn't there to Cochran. You give the ball to Fowler and let the ball be in her hands. She creates opportunities for everyone, if not herself. So I think you'll see the same thing, but it looks like Colorado State's going to pick up here a little full court pressure.
Yep. All 10 players on this side of the court. They've already forced 17 turnovers on Portland. The home run pass up to Flug.
Great fight to get that back, and good look to Frawley.
And she gets fouled as she was short on that shot.
Flug made a nice play on that ball. It was a little bit underthrown just to keep it alive, and then we call those 50-50 balls. She comes up with it, and now a chance for Frawley to knock down 2 free throws.
Frawley on the season, just a 50% free throw shooter. Doesn't get to the line that often. She misses the first free throw. Frawley making the second one. Full court pressure put on by the Pilots.
Tough here for Colorado State. Coach Williams calling out plays, and you're not sure what defense the Pilots are going to be in.
Hofschild puts up the shot over Cochran.
I think the last thing he called was just sort of a spread and wanted Hochschild to go make a play, whether it was man or zone.
A timeout called by Coach Williams and the Rams. Back to a 10-point lead for Portland with 2:08 left to go. And the basketball season's not done here inside the Chiles Center. The men's team plays tomorrow night against the University of New Orleans in the College Basketball Classic. Tip will be at 7 p.m. on ESPN+. And honestly, it's a great opportunity for the Portland Pilots, a program that has somewhat been on the downside for the last few years. But Coach Leggins got some life with some new players on the bluff, and he's got them with 19 wins on the season. He has a chance to get to 20.
He really does, and not only that, but create some momentum, build into the few. You know, we talked about going to the off season this summer and having guys with confidence and excitement to get better.
2:08 left to go. Full court pressure put on by the Rams.
Tough to trap the Pilots when you can throw it back to Fowler and let her bring it herself, and pretty solid from the foul line as well.
Clara Gomez gets called for the foul. That'll be her first. And the fourth team foul for Colorado State.
Pilots looking to execute here, take care of the basketball, no unnecessary turnovers, and put Colorado State in a position where they have to foul.
And Portland has to be careful. 3 players over in that area. Easily could have been trapped.
Kossu with a great run at it. Could have gone the other way for a layup.
Moheim trying to create some separation. Gets it to Cochran. Frawley cutting back door. And it gets right through her hands. 9 on the shot clock.
Still plenty of time.
A deep 3 from Flug. You can only test the waters from so deep.
That was pretty deep. Not the end of the world. He used all the clock.
Yeah.
And give Colorado State credit for scrambling them a little bit, but had probably handled that pass, it probably would have been a layup. But nice job by Moheim stepping through the trap and being able to pass through traffic. Talk a lot about being comfortable when you're uncomfortable. When you're trapped, it's not very comfortable.
Kinzer knocks down the 3. She's got 12 points.
I feel like she's made them all from that same spot, too.
Yeah, the deep wing position. Flug needs to give it up. Gets it to Maddie Moheim. Up to Frawley. Over to Fowler. Fowler's got 16.
If you're the Pilots, you'll take an uncontested layup, and now you just need to defend without fouling. Be solid.
1 minute left in regulation.
Nice contest by Cochran. Another rebound for Fowler.
She's got 16 points and 13 rebounds. The fans are getting up on their feet. We're under a minute to go. 9-point lead for Portland.
Really excellent fourth quarter by the Pilots. Defensively, executing offensively. They continue all game. Rose Flug with just a tremendous ball game.
Pilots swinging around the outside. That 3 rattles off the rim. Offensive rebound, Frawley. And that's a backbreaker for Colorado State, even though the game was out of hand with this much time left. 10 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Flug is in trouble. I think she just traveled. She did. She changed her plant foot.
I'll tell you what, 2 really good teams going at it here tonight, and going to be a really good victory for the Pilots. A Colorado State team that was 21-11 in a Mountain West that has shown very well in the NCAA tournament. So congratulations to the Pilots as they'll move on.
They'll take on Oregon State in round 2 of the WNIT. It's the final seconds coming off the clock here. Colorado State's season is over. Atasu puts up the 3. Doesn't matter. Game over. 72-63. You know, game we thought was going to be closely contested this entire time. And you and I talked at the break between the 3rd and the 4th quarter. The only real difference in this game was those first 3 or 4 baskets for Portland when Colorado State couldn't get anything going and they started 3 for 3 from behind the arc.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, I give the Pilots credit. Coach Meek was stressing rebounding all week. And you look at the stats, 45-24, they out-rebound the Rams. And for the most part, stuck to the game plan and will move on.
Pilots putting up 28 shots from behind the arc, more than their season average. But that was the difference as the Pilots move on to round 2. As they welcome the fans for coming in here.
Nice atmosphere tonight in the Chiles Center. What an exciting brand of basketball. Fun to watch, fun to see this team compete and play together. And, you know, we talked again earlier, too. You're talking about not having Haley Andrews, you know, a second-team all WCC performer, and MJ Bruno as well, who was seeing significant time early in the year. So exciting to move on to that next round and face Oregon State.
Well, you're right. It's been a bit of a worrisome situation with Haley Andrews out, but now we've got Rose Flug, who is going to join us. Rose, you had a terrific game, a new career high, 23 points, 5 of 10 from behind the arc, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Joel and I talked about the roving defender for Colorado State. Was shooting the three-point ball a point of emphasis for this team today?
Yeah, I think so. I think we knew that they were going to rover off of somebody. Didn't necessarily know who, so just kind of been everybody working on their shot, making sure we got our feet set, ready to shoot and knock it down. So.
Rose, I thought you did an amazing job to start the game, being ready to shoot, like you said, and not being surprised when you were open. And those 3 threes to start things out, I think, really put Colorado State on their heels. And that was the difference. If you look at the final score, was, I think, the great start you got off to. So I know that was a point of emphasis, but credit to you for being ready to shoot.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Rose, what was the message from Coach Meek at halftime? You guys have had a lead before. You wanted to make sure you didn't surrender it, and you were up by 10 at that point. What was the message from Meek?
Yeah, I think, you know, it was just to keep going, keep playing our game. I think, you know, we got a little frantic at times and let them go on a run. And so I think we had to take care of the ball a little bit better, and then just make the reads, especially off that rover player. And I think, you know, credit to everybody else. I think they did a really good job of finding who they were rovering off of. So it was definitely a team effort on that regard.
Well, Rose, I know you're fighting off the band right now, so we'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining us in the postgame, and good luck the rest of the way.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Rose Flug, career high, 23 points. She had 7 rebounds and 4 assists. Joel, do you have any final thoughts on today's contest?
Well, I think she said it best. What a team effort. You know, you really, Alex Fowler leads the charge, but when you get Rose Flug starting off 3 for 3 from 3, you look at Macy Burnham coming in and making big plays on offensive rebounds, putbacks, Lucy Cochran getting a couple buckets and a couple blocks late. I mean, it was a complete team effort, and they're going to need that as they move on into the next round.
Yeah, they're going to need it as they take on Oregon State in round 2 coming up next week. Thank you to the production crew upstairs. That was Joel Sobotka. I'm Brian Slyke, and we'll catch you next time on the WCC Network.